what we're going to do is we'll do a little bit of die cutting. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use, and I've taken some of our luxury, I want to say blue cardstock here, but it's from the Carnival set, this one. It's really lovely, gorgeous one. So let me grab my plates. I've treated myself to a new set of plates. So look at this. Right, so I'm just going to place that one on there, and I think while I'm at it, I'm going to put a few other things down there as well. So let me take some white cardstock, and what have I done with my scissors, Debbie? Just for a second, just excuse me while I bend down there and bring my scissors into effect. So I'm just going to do a bit of die cutting as well. So this is when I'm going to place on his body. So that's his body parts. Can you see his little legs? See his little scarf there? And then you've got his body and his head as well, there on there. So I'm going to pop them on. I'm just going to snip those out though for a second. So let's just take that. I'm going to pop that on as well. Right, so placing them down, face down, because I'm going to be cutting down into my plate. I think what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to pop on, look at me, I'm being really frugal. But do you know what's going to be really good about this kit? I've been genuinely, when I say, do you know the scraps of paper that we have and the scraps of cardstock that none of us throw away, because I know you're all like me, we all do the same. I don't throw anything away. My eldest daughter is here with me today, and she could vouch for me when I say I don't throw a single scrap piece of cardstock away. I store them in bags. I don't tell you how many bags I've got lying around the craft room, but probably would explain why you can't walk in my craft room, because everything's so I want to say not messy. It is organised, but it's a bit of organised chaos is the way I'm going to look at it. Now there we go. I've got everything loaded up that I can on that plate. However, that's just cut out all in white. These other parts I could cut out into different colours, but just for now I'm going to cut them all out in white just to show you how they all cut out. So normal combination for your Gemini with your plastic shim and your other cutting plate, your magnetic shim. Let me move the metal one out of the way. I'm just going to run that through the Gemini. There we go. But like I said, perfect for all those scraps, all those endless pieces of scraps that I know, between me and you, I know that you are exactly the same as me. And I bet every one of you now is saying exactly the same thing. Now, look at this. It's all just dropped out. But let me just the only bits that haven't dropped out are the ones that have been held down with my tape, with my low tack tape. But let me just show you now all the little elements there. So you can see his lovely little legs. Look at those little legs. Let me just pop them there on my hand. You can see that you've got his head, and you can see you've got his body. And look how you're going to be able to build that up. Now, where's his arms, I hear you ask? There they are. So what you're going to do then is place the arms behind. You're going to get his body back on. Whoops, Debbie, don't drop his body. That way around. And then you've got his head. Oops, right way around. And then you've got his scarf. So you can wrap his scarf round him. Oops, wrong bit, Debbie, wrong bit, Debbie. That's the scarf. But again, this is how you're going to be able to build all these pieces up. And I've even got his little golden heart. Let me pop his little golden heart so you can see that. Let me just take that out of there. Look at that lovely little heart that you're going to be able to use. And don't forget, you're going to be able to use this in lots of other ways as well. They really are lovely. Now then, hang on a minute. I've used his... Whoops! Don't be dropping them, Debs. Don't be dropping them. Get it the right way around, Debbie. There we go. Pop that on. But I'm going to show you how you build this up. At the minute, I'm just doing this on my hand. And obviously, you wouldn't do that. But there, I forgot. There his ears. Debbie, they're not his arms. There his ears. So you're going to put them behind as well. But I'm just going to show you. So that's all his little bits there. Just for a second, I'm just going to place these to this side. And again, I'm just going to throw this little part in the bin because we don't need that. Although I would be using that little scrap there. I would be chopping that up and using that in something else. Tell you. Little bit tight when it comes to this bit, but then we're talking his nose. Can you see his little nose here? He's got his nose. You've even got the Christmas present and the bow to be able to cut on there, and you've also got, and if I can just grab your pokey tool just for a second, let me pop that down a minute, if I just show you, even on this die you've even got that wraps around the present. Look, the bow bit that goes around the box. This is where I'm talking about all the elements that have been brought onto these dies make it really easy for you to use. Now, if you did this in a different colour, who's to say is a white polar bear? You could have a different colour polar bear. You could have a purple coloured polar bear. Not that there is such a thing, but you could do. But there's lots of different things you can do. There's so many ways. And when I always talk about a little die set, she says, a dies, I want a die to do more than one thing. I don't want it to just do one thing. I want it to be able to do lots of different things. And that's exactly what you can do. And again, even cutting that lovely wonderland out in that lovely blue, look at that. There you go. You can see all that's cut out beautifully as well. Right, so just for a second, what I'm going to do, let me just move these to one side. Just get myself all organised for a minute, because today I started off with a lovely, I'm talking lovely, big craft space. You can bet your bottom dollar before this hour is up, it'll be all jam-packed with all sorts of stuff again. I'm going to try and be good this time. I'm going to try and be good, because it always does get a little bit chaotic. But I bet I'm not the only person to say that. I bet you're all the same. I bet you all think the same like me. I bet you all do the same. We're all the same breed, aren't we, us crafters? We are. Now then, I'm just going to put those back on there just for a second, because I don't want to lose them. So if you just bear with me, pop that down there. I'm even going to put me, look at me, I'm being so organised. Oof, look at that, all back on there. I'm just going to move these and move my plates. Right, that's just for now. Now, what I'm going to show you is the stamping parts, because we have got that lovely stamp as well. Let's not forget, we've got the 2 stamp sets there. So we've got the lovely walking in a winter, and then we've even got the detail, and I want to show you this detail. So let me just grab my stamping platform. I probably would use my little one for this, but for love nor money, can I find it? Nope. So I've placed on his little eyes. Let me get his head back just for a second. Move that one to one side, Debbie. Move those to that side. There we go. Organised. Told you. I'm being organised. But can you see his little head? So we've got his head. That's his eyes. Let me grab my ink pad. I'm going to use my quick dry ink pad for this one. And I'm going to use the black one. But again, you could use any of your colours. Don't worry about that extra ink around the edge. You can either wipe that off or just go straight down. And if I just place that, I'm just going to, excuse me if you see my head poke over, but I just want to get that in place. Let's just make sure I'm done. And pop that off. And then there you go. You can see you've, oh, let me just get that right. You can see you've got your little detail just there. Can you see his little eyes? How lovely is that? That's really cute. Now then, one thing I do need is to wipe off that ink before I get it all over my fingers. And then I'll just show you as well with, oops, would help to have it the right way around before I try cleaning off ink that isn't on the other side, because it's on this side. There we go. So I'm just going to place that, and I'm going to put that back on my sheet as well. Don't want to lose them, because I need them for Saturday. And then again, that lovely walking in the air. And again, I'm just going to use quick dry just for this particular one, but you can use any of your inks that you have. Just pop that on. There we go. And I'm going to take, and I would use my stamping mat, but again, I don't know what I've done with it. There we go. So I'm just going to stamp that down. I'm not going to worry too much if I haven't got it, because I've got one that I've pre-done earlier, but look at that. Walking in a winter, and then you can bring in your wonderland as well. So let's build this box together. We've got all the elements. I've got a stamp that's got wings. It's flying off the stamping platform. So I'll pop that back on there. Let's put that there and move that one just for a second. Make sure I've got no ink on my fingers. Right, so what I've already previously done, and I'll just show you, is I've taken some of our Harmony water reactive ink, and I've just inked around the edges to give it a little bit of a blue tinge, a blue feel to that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build him all together. So I'm going to take tacky glue, but you can use again any of your glues. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build him up. So first thing I'm going to pop on him is his body. So let's just pop a bit of glue just there. I'm going to build that up just by layering him there. And then you take his head. And this time I'm going to place his head. In fact, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get his scarf. We've pre-cut that into a blue one. But can you see you've got your little guide where you can place that on so that you know where you're going with it. Okay. So I'm going to plop that on. Plop. Plop. What's that word, Debbie? Place. Place that just on there. And then I'm going to take his head And again, I'm just going to put a bit of glue down at the bottom. Bearing in mind, if you were building this up onto a card, you would put your glue on anyway underneath, and you could place it all down and layer him up. But just for this, I just want to show you how to build that up. So I'm going to place his heart next. So let's get his heart together. Pop his little heart there in the middle. Look, he's wearing his heart there. How cute. Now then, I've already pre-cut. So although I did it in white first, I've pre-cut into a little black piece. Now you could take your tweezers if you're not good with fiddly little bits, get your tweezers. But look, I've got big silly nails on and I can manage it. So if I can manage it, I'm sure you'll be able to. But if you're uncomfortable, get your tweezers and you can build your tweezers. You can use your tweezers to get that in place. Now I'm going to use my pokey tool just to guide that in. There we go, and then press that down. And again, you're building him up. So just by layering up and building up, look, you can even put his head. Look, you can have his head tilted to one side. Can you see that? How cute is that? Quite like him with his head tilted. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep him tilted there. Then we're going to take his arms and his ears, and we're going to put those on as well. So you can see, just around there, if we put his ears on, again, I'm just going to this time, we'll just turn him over just for a second, and then you get your ears, and you're going to place that on the back. And again, just take your glue and pop it on. And if you're not sure if it looks right, just turn him around. There you go. You can see his little ears. Can you see? Let me just put that onto some blue. You can see there. You see, you've got his ears on. I quite like him with his head tilted. I'm going to keep him like that. I think he's right cute. But I absolutely love this. This is it's so lovely. Now, the next bit that's missing, we haven't got no arms. So shall we put his arms on? Shall we have him going down? But again, this is where you're going to have the fun because you're going to be able to build this. But you're going to place those behind him. Can you see there? Place him behind. So again, this time I'm just going to put a bit of glue just on there. Just round at the top. Don't want to put him down here because obviously that's the bits that are showing. So just bear that in mind when you're building this character up. There we go, look. And then just pop that together. Now you can see he's really coming on now. And in fact, if I just bring him in to the closer shots, let me just make sure I've got him. But look, he's proper cute. How gorgeous is he? He's so lovely. I absolutely love him. I don't know what it is about this polar bear. I love them all. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love them all. But we always have one that just stands out. Personally, to yourself, you always have that one. I just think he's so, so cute. Let's get my box put together. And this time I'm going to use my lovely tape pen. So I'm just going to place that on. And I've already pre-cut this to size. This the base started off as a 9 by 10 and I've scored it at 2 inches all the way around just in case you're wondering. But I want to have a nice big deep box. But if you're going to stay tuned to me this week end, we're going to be able to, you're going to be able to see some more demonstrations. All right, so let's pop that on there. Let's place, there we go. That's the box base done. And then just going to put the lid. All right, there we go. I'll just stick these all bits down. This is the bit that I love, constructing. I love constructing, I love making, I love being able to show you what these lovely characters can do. I mean, there's so many ways that you can use them. We talk about making it for card making, but like you've seen with that elf door that we showed you at the beginning, and I will show you some more samples as we go along. There's so many things that you can use them in. Right, so that's the box all constructed together. Then I've taken, this is from Sarah's latest collection. This was from the Enchanted Christmas. This is a 3D embossing folder. And again, I've just inked up some background in there. But look, again, it's going to look so lovely with the polar bear. I think it's got that lovely theme to it. So again, let me just make sure my glue's open, Debbie. Make sure your glue's open. And again, just pop some, this time I'm going to use some all-purpose glue. And just pop that on the top. That fits there, just lovely. And then I've already taken my Winter Wonderland and die cut that and stuck it onto our Xyron. So I'm just going to place that off. Let me just take that off the carrier sheet. Just for a second. Put that to one side. And I'm going to take just a little strip of cardstock to put this on, the Wonderland to stick over the top, and then matching in a little matten layer at the background. I've used the same colour cardstock again, and this is the luxury glitter card. So let me just place that on. In fact, you know what? I'm going to have it going all in a, not a skew width way, but I'm going to have it all going up and down. I think that looks quite, oh actually, Debbie, what are you doing, Debs? Take that off. Let's get it into place. There we go. So place that on, and then again I'm just going to mat and layer just at the back. In fact, this time I need my tacky glue. And if you're wondering why I'm using tacky glue, I'm going on to glitter cardstock, so I don't want to use a wet glue for this. I want to use the tacky glue just so that I don't strip any of the colour off. There we go. So that is just on there. I'm going to place that on the bottom, and let's pop that on. And then I'm going to take, this time I'm going to have some 3D Collal glue. Let me just place that on, just hold that down for a second. Because where is my lovely, I want to call him Build-A-Bear then, my Build-A-Character, Build-A-Character. And I'm going to pop some 3D Collal glue because I just want him to step off, just there. And then again, all I've done with this one, the Walking in Winter, is I've placed that on with some of our blue ink around the edges just to give it a little bit of a distress feel, and then I've placed some more glitter card on. I'm just going to give it a slight bend. I'm just going to do that with my fingers, but you could use your bone folder for that. Let me just place that on. Right, place there, and then lastly I'm going to put a bow on. Oh, I know what I've forgotten. Let me just grab it into place. Pop that on the edge just like that. Keep that tape underneath. Place that on. And then, if I've just seen him just out the corner of my eye, the lovely presents that I've already pre-coloured. I've used some purple round the ribbon that goes around the box, and I've used a pink bow just to finish. But again, this is when you can decide how you want to build up this character and build up your parts, what colour cardstock you're going to use, and all those kind of things. And there we go. If I just bring that into your seat, there you go. Look how beautiful that is. Now, I love these characters. This Build-A-Character really is a beautiful collection.